What's going on YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. All right, so I was gonna do some Canadian dollar reveal. I bought a roll of 10 random dates and just doing some research and figured I'd show you guys. So this is the most expensive Canadian dollar. It's a 1948, even in like totally bogus condition. It's probably worth $1,000. This one's listed at 66,000 American. This is what the photo looks like on PCGS, which obviously it's beautifully toned, but check this out. When you minimize it and you actually go to the listing, dude, this is how like the seller has it listed. Like, tell me that doesn't look like a poopy coin. Now, it is the highest grade. There's only three of these, right, in existence. But I mean, dude, this photo's awful. Kind of cracks me up. And obviously the seller's from Canada. This is the US amount, 66,292. Heritage auction on this listing shows like the last time this traded hands was like in 2003 for like 21 grand or a coin like it. That's just insane. So the moral of the story is look for a 1948 Canada dollar. Now let me go show you some like more affordable choices. I got some really nice specimens. There's no way I ever have a $66,000 coin in my shop. That's insane. And if I did, I wouldn't list it on eBay. But whatever. That's how some people roll. All right, back to the or onto the coin booth. We shall go. One sec. All right, here we are in the coin booth. I put my glove on because these are worth. These are glove worthy, I guess. A lot of times, you guys probably cringe when I'm like holding coins in my hand. So. Anyways, I had to print out a little cheat sheet. So if you think like I memorized these mintages, that's psychotic. Even with the telegraphic memory or photographic memory, telegraphic memory, it'd be pretty hard to memorize the mintages. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is show you like a really nice high quality roll of 10 Canadian silver dollars, what to look for when you're at a coin shop. If you like any of these, I know the last time I did a video like this, they all sold like within a week. Mainly from my international viewers, which I don't think there's a ton of you, but it's just hard to find like really nice, solid silver dollars from Canada, and it's pretty tough to find this kind of stuff in the United States. So anytime I can come upon a collection, I'll use my experiences from the past, which I was pleasantly surprised. And again, on this particular purchase of these, I'm also very pleasantly surprised. So we're going to go through each coin individually and give you an idea of what I think the coin would grade out for and what I think I can sell it for. And a lot of the comps are actually my most recent comps. And this is using eBay to resell. So first one we want to start with, beautiful, beautiful example of George V. This is the very first year. So the way to think of this for a Canadian silver dollar, this is kind of like the 1878 of Morgan's. This is the very first year. It has a very unique strike. That's the only coin that has King George V on it in this fashion, and it is a 1935. So some of the things you want to look for when you're looking at a coin is the overall eye appeal. So you want to look at like the rims, make sure they're all intact. If there's any dings or whatever, you probably want to go down a fraction of a grade. You probably want to mention that in your listing. And then just the overall look. So is there any ugly toning? Is there anything in the coin itself that is kind of distracting or ugly? And is the luster still there or is it gone? This kind of has a little goodness of everything. So it's got the frostiness, showing all the details from the stamp itself, or I should say when the die hit the coin to make it. These were not very strongly struck, so they weren't hit very hard. So it is normal to not see a lot of detail in the two packages. I'm assuming those are like fur packages in the middle of the boat. So if you see one like this where it's like, wow, King George looks awesome, and then you flip it around, it's like, wow, there's like a lot of wear right here. That's not from wear. That's just like these were poorly struck. Again, it was the first year of them doing this coin, and it's weird because it's not really high relief, but I think they had a problem when they were pressing these in. Anyways, this is a beautiful example. I'm very confident that I will sell this for $125. The main reason is I recently sold one within the last 30 days for 125 bucks, and I think the one I sold for 125 was just as nice. This one might be slightly nicer. So again, if you run into any of these in the wild or you see it in a collection, grab it, because if it's in this quality, you can definitely get over 100 bucks for it all day long on eBay. So we'll set that one aside. What's cool about this next one is I didn't have in my last collection that I sold, I didn't have the following year, so in 1936, which this is. So I never actually got to see a 36. And again, this is a very unique coin. It's the only year of a 36, and see the difference. So we've got the same King George V, but this one, he's got like a little medal around his neck. Similar bow tie, maybe some type of fur coat or royal coat, but this one, he's got like, you can definitely see some kind of gold, gold chain or whatever you would call it over his robe. And this robe here looks like more furry. There's definitely more definition in his beard. They also changed his crown, which I thought was interesting, because I thought, man, if you're a king, you only get one type of crown. So this crown, which is the 35, is wide, and then this 36, it's a little more narrow. So, and then, this one has a small cross on the top. This one has like a big one, and it goes into the rim of the coin itself. So again, I'm not an expert by any means. This was not Canada's king. This was obviously England's king, but Canada was a territory of England. So again, not sure, maybe because this was King George's very last year that they decided, to commemorate him and just redo it complete. But it's a little strange. So, but they're both very beautiful coins. This 36, the 35, the very first minted, they only minted 428,707 of these. So they're very hard to find. And when you do find them, they're usually all beat up and ugly, or they're sitting in a slab, or they're in someone's collection. So you're not going to see this coin very often in this quality, especially raw, like ungraded. So I love running across this kind of stuff. So for the 36, they minted even less. There was only 339,600 of these particular coins. These ones were struck better, so you can see the detail in the packages or the furs in the middle there. I hope they're furs, man, because like there's like, looks like a trader dude. I think that's an Indian. And again, look at the fur here. It's like, it's very blurred because it's not really detailed, very detailed. And even the canoe on this one, like you can even make out like the way they, I forgot how you call it, but with the way they designed the die, like there's a lot more depth to the canoe, whereas here it's it's still there, but it's definitely flat. And then I never noticed like there's a little symbol at the edge of the canoe itself, which I think is really cool. So this 36 is a banger. This is a beautiful example. I've never held one of these in my hands, and I'm going to ask $135 for this coin. You guys might think this is a little high if you're not experts in Canadian silver dollars, but what I'm doing is that if the buyer picks this up, they have the choice of, creating a BU collection, whether they want to keep it raw, which they're hard to find, or if the buyer actually wants to take the coin and send it in to get graded. If they get a mid-state 63 or higher on either one of these coins, they're going to double their money. So if you think they're expensive, I tend to agree, because most Canadian silver dollars trade around the $30 price point. But these are very, very hard to find this nice out in the wilderness, as they say, without plastique around it. So really happy with those two examples. And here's what's interesting. When you go to the next year, which again, I didn't have a 37, I don't think in the last batch, maybe I did, but it all of a sudden goes to King George the Sixth. So it completely changes to a young man. I'm assuming this is the son of King George V. And we have the same canoe and boat and whatnot in the back. And you want to look at water lines. It's typical to see 3 water lines. Again, this is a very beautifully struck coin. And again, you want to focus in like on the detail of the canoe. You want to see rays, and you want to see those packages in the middle. Again, I'm going to just call him Furs. Hopefully I'm correct. And then when you look at his face, it's kind of like when you're staring at a Morgan, you want to see if there's any distractions around the face. This face is pretty nice. I mean, there are some hits here and there, but I would say this is like a Mint State 63 coin. If you sent it in to get graded, the edges are nice. The overall eye appeal is really nice. So anyways, they made 207,406 of these coins. They didn't make a ton of them, but for whatever reason, they're not as popular as the George V coins. So even though they minted like half versus the 35 in my hands here, this one I'm probably going to ask $65 for. Again, that's weird. Sometimes it's not all about mintages. Maybe what happened is that more people collected this coin when it came out, so there are a lot more nicer examples that survive. So it's not always about the mintage mark. It's basically what's out there, supply and demand. And I'm giving you my prices based on eBay recent comps, so comparable sales. A lot of those sales are actually mine from my experience, as well as what's available in the market, like listed for sale. This next one is a 1938. This one is very, very hard to find. Not like the 48 or whatever I showed you, that's like $1,000, but this particular one, they only minted 90,304 of them. That's a very, very low mintage mark for an entire country. So this particular coin, it does have a ding here, which kind of sucks, but I don't think I've ever had a 38 in my possession. And even in this mint state quality, which is not as good as all the other coins I've shown so far, so this will probably be a lower mint state. But again, you can still see the details in the packages. You can still make out the guys' faces here in the boat. The rays look nice. The overall strike of the coin, eye appeal of the coin is nice. So something like this, I'll probably be asking $135, which might be really, really light. I've seen some of these that don't look as nice as this one, and they've sold for $250, and some people have these like listed for $350. So I'm hoping at $135, someone will take advantage of it. They'll add it to their collection because it is a very tough date to find. Even if they get it graded and, if it doesn't come back a pure mint state, let's say it comes back mint state details, it's still going to be a $450 coin all day long. So if you collect Canadian silver dollars and you want a really good deal, this is probably the best deal out of everything that I'm showing as far as like rarity, hard to find type of thing. All right, so going on to the next following year, this is where it completely drops off the cliff. So this next one is a 1939. This must have been some sort of commemorative or anniversary, some sort of bicentennial. Again, I apologize for the ignorance. I didn't look up the history on the coins, but you go from 90,000 in a 38 to 1,363,816, which is a huge explosion in a mintage, especially for a silver dollar. Not so much if you look at U.S. coins, but I don't think a ton of people were using an actual silver dollar in the 30s. They were probably using paper, so these are still pretty rare. But this basically right here is a nice example. I've sold much nicer examples of this, but this is a $30 coin. So huge, huge difference going from a 38, only 90,000 minted, to a regular 39, which even regular, they're not easy to find in this quality, but that dramatically drops down. So this is a good deal at $30 for someone that wants a nice example to add to their collection. Next one we jump up to the 40s. It's not a 45, unfortunately. The 45, I did sell it on eBay for $395. That person got a smoking deal. I started that one like at $475, and I just kept dropping it every week, and then more and more watchers kept watching it, and then finally I sold it for $395. But this is a very, very valuable coin. So talk about low mintage marks, especially for 1946. They only minted 93,055 of this coin. If it was a proof coin, which it looks like a proof coin, but I didn't get to see any real life examples. Like this has, like it looks like someone polished this, right? But no, nobody's polished this coin. It does have frostiness of King George. It does have a little frostiness of the things here, but it literally looks like a mint coin from the 40s. So I don't know if you guys have looked at like U.S. coinage from the 40s. The proof coins, they're all kind of like just really shiny. So again, no one, you can tell like nobody has actually went to town and shined this coin. And you can tell too, because there's like pits in the fields. But I mean, it's hard to kind of pick up on my camera, but I mean, you can see my finger in there. So I don't know. If this was a proof coin, put it this way, guys, it'd be worth like $4,000. But I don't think it is. I mean, if it is, and someone ends up buying this from me, so be it. You know, rock and roll, dude. But this is probably the most valuable coin out of the roll here. Probably the best deal if you want something very rare, especially in this condition. I'm going to be asking $250 for this coin. It's not crazy, guys. There are people that have a lesser quality coin listed for like $400 and recent sales. So, and if this ends up being a proof coin, you've hit a jackpot. I don't think it is, because when I see a proof coin, you would see that rim really kind of stand out, because a proof coin's been hit, you know, more than once. But for this coin only being hit once by the die, it is absolutely beautiful coin. So highly recommend if you're looking for the nicest, you know, to add this collection. Again, a very super hard coin to find with this quality of strike with actual mirrors. So I don't know if that would get a special designation from NGC, but regardless, I mean, it's like the nicest looking one out of all of these here. So 250, someone's gonna be super happy with that one. Following that, going from a 46 to a 49, this one definitely has looked, probably seen better days. This kind of has like one actual finish to it. It is similar to this one, but you can tell like just the way that George looks, even like on an angle. This one's probably been polished or something, or maybe that's just how like this one looks. So I did sell a 49 before that was much nicer, and the boat and George looked more cameo like. It is common for the 49 to actually have mirrors, so that part is kind of normal. So anyways, they made a lot of these, 6 million of these, I believe they made. Or did I type that wrong? Made 672. Anyways, they made a bunch of these, but this is a nice example, easily a $40 coin. And again, it's got a ship on it, so anytime you have a ship, someone mentioned in my last posting of dollars that this was some sort of commemorative ship back in the day that won a war or something back in the day. So again, it's cool for a silver dollar. All of a sudden, they random year, they just picked a ship there. So now we're getting into like the 50s. So with the 50s, you pretty much want to pay attention to these water lines here. Let me get you something to point at it here. That is not my finger. Well, I thought I had something. We'll have a screwdriver here. Just don't scrape this coin. So the water lines on a coin here for the 50s, 51, 52, you want to look here. So this has the 3 water lines. There's like a rare one that only has like 1.5. And then there's the water lines there, 1, 2, 3. So this one here is the regular 1950. They make a ton of these, so it's 261,000. But again, because it's from the 50s, more people started collecting these. This does have some, you know, rim action, so this would be a $30 coin all day long to add your collection. This next one here is a 51. Again, you want to pay attention to the water lines. This actually is a nicer strike. So again, you can see the details of the fur packages and stuff down there. And King George is looking good, but he does have some scratchiness. So like somebody scratched this, whether it was with another coin or just thrown in a roll. So I would call this like a details BU coin. So something like this, even though it looks really nice, but because of that scratchiness that's going across this way, even though it's got some mirrors, I'm going to ask 35 for it. And then I see like a scratch down there as well. So if it didn't have the scratches, it'd probably be like a $45 coin because it'd be a higher mint state. Still a very beautiful strike with mirrors. And then last, we have an actual 52. So again, it's got George on it again, but this one does not have the water lines. Very nice example. Not a huge premium for no water lines. And again, if you guys didn't understand the water lines, so look at the lines here. You got 1, 2, 3 plus the island. And now look at the 52 that has no water lines. See that? There are no water lines right there. So Let me get those side by side for you guys. And the left of the canoe, see that there are water lines on the 51, right on the edge of the canoe there, 1, 2, 3, and then on this 52, they're gone. There are no water lines. So no water lines, but this one is not as nice of a strike. There are, you know, some marks and stuff on it, but I know I can sell this all day long for $40 with confidence because that's what I sold the last one with no water lines. So anyways, when you guys are looking for this stuff in the wild, man, like I said, if you can find a 48, you have struck $1,000 coin. If you can find a 45, it's a, you know, that's in BU quality, you found like a $400 coin all day long. But even like these earlier ones, these can be worth some bucks. So keep an eye on it. Again, it doesn't come across like at a coin shop that often. And I mean, like seriously, how many people walk into American Coin Shop like, hey man, I want some Canadian silver dollars. Can I see your like tube of them? And the guy will look at you like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, we don't have rolls of BU silver Canadian dollars. Like, you are in the wrong country. But there are dealers out there, especially U.S. dealers, that do kind of specialize in that kind of stuff. Or if you go to coin shows, there might be particular dealers that specialize in it. Just as what I'm saying as a U.S. buyer or someone that collects numismatics, don't blow it off, guys. Like, these are valuable. You probably will get a bit more dollar for it if you sell it on eBay because now you are bringing in a Canadian buyer. But there's also people that are in other countries that collect these because they're collecting a particular king. Ooh, that fell on the towel. They're collecting a particular king, and also they just like to have like some people just like collect a certain year and they want like every single silver dollar in that year. So anyways, I'm going to get these listed in my eBay store. I appreciate you guys watching this. I have done a prior video of it. And again, each time I come across some world coins here, I definitely learned something, and I like to share that with you guys. So again, if you want any of these coins, they will be listed in my eBay store. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.